it's my pleasure to introduce Jessica and Krystal Zapata? Perfect. Who are going to be headlining a special event this Mother's Day weekend. But before we get into all of that, let's take a moment to get to know these special ladies. How are you guys doing tonight?
Hi, we're good.
We're doing really good. Thanks for asking.
Perfect. You guys are probably the first guests to ever come on to Urban Definition about a good half an hour, 45 minutes before the show begins. That's great.
Awesome. That's good.
We are Spanish, but we're trying to, show that the Spanish can be early.
Yes, even
though
it's
that's
usually,
the rumor.
Yeah, it's usually the opposite. We're usually late, but, we're Canadian born here, so we're trying to keep up with that custom.
Perfect. And you guys touched on two huge things about yourself. First of all, you guys are Spanish, and you guys are born here, which gets me into my very first question of the night. Who are you?
Well, I'm Krystal.
I'm Jessica.
Together, we're DLO. We're actually Spanish singers who grew up here singing since we were very, very young. Have had the honor of sharing the stage with a lot of international acts out there, very popular ones, and we'll go through that in a little bit as well. But, we're just two girls here, two sisters who grew up and have music in our blood and figured out, we have
lots of
some
love
talent,
and respect
I guess.
for music, definitely. And our family, too. We have a lot of, like our mother's a singer. We have a lot of people that are musicians or artists in our family. So it's definitely something that's really important to us.
Very cool. So we touched on the family side. We touched on the musical background. But aside from those two, well, those are very key things. What else played a role in guiding you along this path?
Well, for us, it's pretty much the main thing is going to be, family. My sister mentioned our mom's a singer, but going further back to that, our grandmother actually is the first generation here to come from Ecuador, where she was a soprano in her country. An amazing singer who gave us the talent to just kind of trickle down. And, we're the current, we'll say, generation that has the talent right now. And hopefully our kids will continue it. But that's pretty much, what led us on this path. And then having our mom get into singing and having us tag along, and our father was in the industry as well. And we were just very fortunate to have all the connections
definitely.
We had.
Yes.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about your grandma then, aside from being a soprano. So what does that mean for people who don't understand?
So soprano's a female singer who sings in a very high register. A lot of people will attribute that to, opera singers, for example. They're classified sopranos. But that would basically be that. She was mostly in a classical setting. And Ecuador, of course, so kind of with her style as well. But, so that would just describe her. So,
okay. And then the mom?
Yeah, my mom, she's always been, that person that at least I started singing when I was about 4 years old. And it was kind of like my mom started singing and, I would kind of watch her do what she did. And I was very amazed by it. And I would just try to kind of mimic it back and everything like that. And she played definitely a key role in it because her name is Eva Tapia and she is well known in the Latin community as well. And, she's definitely guided us through the path into, loving this so much and kind of doing that. Mm-hmm.
Very cool. So it sounds like you guys come from a very rich musical history.
Yes.
And while that can be absolutely beneficial, it can also be detrimental to a certain degree. And so I guess my next question to you guys would be then, how do you guys find a balance in keeping up with today's trends? I mean, you guys were born in Canada, both your grandmother and your mother, who come from very rich musical backgrounds, are from Ecuador.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So how do you guys find the balance between the two? And not lose the cultural heritage in your music?
Well, for us, we kind of had to, just be ourselves, find out what our sound was, find out what was in us.
Exactly.
Because, we're Ecuadorian, we love Ecuadorian music and everything, but we're actually salseras, which means, we sing salsa because we appreciate and love all music, all around the world. So we really kind of fell in love with so much music, different styles and different sounds that were out there. And luckily for us, we write all our music. We actually have an album coming out which will show everybody that we're very, very different. We have a lot of urban new sounding R&B new sounds, trying to modernize, trying to fuse everywhere around the world and trying to make it new. So luckily for us, we have control over that at least, but just for balancing it, we just stay true to ourselves.
That's right.
And we're very proud to be where we're from, Canadian, but also Ecuadorian. So no matter what, we'll always find a balance because technically we have to balance it. So
Absolutely. I can't disagree with that whatsoever. You said you were recording. From what I understand, you guys have, is it an album or a single coming out?
Well, we are currently in studio finishing up our album, finalizing all those touches, working with amazing producers, arrangers, mixing engineers, musicians and everything. So we're currently in the studio finishing our album, but we will be releasing our single very soon, and actually be announcing that as well on the May 13th show.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit more about the personal side of that experience.
Well, for me, I write all the music, so it's extremely personal. I will admit that. So every song you hear is a little bit into my history, what I went through, what women all over the world go through. And, my sister and I try to be as much of, I don't know if role models is the right word, but as much as support to anybody who may be going through the same thing,
right,
and giving them the voice and giving them something to listen to that they can relate to.
And especially being a woman as well, I think it's very important to be able to promote that. You know what, especially in the type of music that we're doing, it is very dominated by males. And you know what, it's we like to show that, women can do it. If not, as good, we can do it,
Even better.
Even better.
I'm going to say better.
I'm going to say better, too. I think I would have changed that.
Because we're going to go with girl power on this side
yes,
over here.
Definitely.
Now, you guys have touched on a lot of different things building up to what is this event on
Yes.
May the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So, before we get into the personal side of May 13th's event, which
Mm-hmm.
is, in fact, a Mother's Day event,
Correct.
tell me about the event itself.
Well, the event is going to be, like you said, Saturday, May 13th. It's going to be at the La Liga Lounge, 1107 Finch Avenue. It's presented by Rain Entertainment, who's a great support. And, it's $20 at the door and everything like that. But it's first 50 mothers come in. We have a special gift for you as well. And we're going to be playing a lot of, well-known songs, as well as maybe some surprises we don't know yet. Hint, hint, to those things. But, that would be that event coming up.
So, for those who don't know, doors are open at what time?
8 p.m.
Perfect. And that address is?
1107 Finch Avenue West.
Perfect. No, the only reason I asked was because I think when you initially said Finch, I know I got a message here that said Finch Avenue, what, east or west? And
There you go.
that's always been yeah. So, again, event, Saturday, May 13th, at La Liga Lounge. Doors open at 8.
Right.
You said first 50 mothers get a special gift?
Yes, they do.
And we're not telling people what that
No,
gift is
that's
just
a
yet.
surprise.
Ooh, I see.
Definitely.
$20 cover.
Mm-hmm.
And if people want to get advance tickets, how do they do so?
They can contact Rain Entertainment, which we have flyers out there. We also have a lot of social media up there. Rainentertainment.com. If you visit that website, it'll lead you to anything you need to know there.
Perfect. And what is, aside from showcasing the amazing mothers that are within, not just within the Latin American community, but worldwide, what else do you guys hope of establishing or getting out of this event on May 13th?
Well, we'd like to let everybody know that we're back. We've been in this industry for a very long time.
Very long time.
It's been about 15 to 20 years, we'll say. We'll give you that ballpark without giving away a woman's age.
Without giving away the ages.
It's funny. It's funny because when I first met you guys, I had when I asked you guys how long you guys been doing this for, and you said 20 years, and I was just completely baffled because I was like, wait, what? Because for those of you who have not met these beautiful young ladies before, they do not look like they've been in the industry for 20 years. They look like, maybe 5-6 years. But you guys have obviously you guys have a very rich history, backing.
Yes,
you got your
definitely.
grandmother, your mother. How has your mother helped in shaping your music itself?
Well, giving us the freedom to really do what we wanted to do. That's, she never said, this is what you're going to listen to growing up and that's it. She listened to so many different spectrums that, she really gave us the opportunity to listen to everything.
To find out
and
who
love
we
everything.
were. Exactly. To find our sound and to find out. And you know what? And for that, we have a really great appreciation for all music. So you know what? That I think that really helped us a lot. Yeah.
For sure. Now, I must say that I really do love, I am really enjoying this conversation, so much so that I would like to continue this conversation into the next block. I know initially we said we were going to go until 8:27, and then we're going to go, and that'll be it. But you know what? I'm enjoying this conversation so much that I really do want to continue this conversation. I want to dig a little bit deeper. I want to get into more of the history, more of so that everybody listening can understand a little bit more about who you guys are, what your music is about. Now, with that being said, we do have to take a brief commercial break, but please stay tuned because you don't want to miss this interview because I'm loving Jessica and Krystal right now.
Urban Definition on CHHA 1610. This is Urban Definition.
Welcome back, everybody. So for those of you now tuning in, we are sitting down with Jessica and Krystal Zapata.
Yeah, that's right.
You got it.
You know, as many times as I say it, I will probably never perfect saying that last name. That is one thing I've learned with working with the Latin American community, is that there are very intricate names.
Oh, definitely.
But then again, a lot of people mispronounce Kareem, so I totally get it. It's totally fine. So there was a couple more questions that I wanted to cover with you guys. I did want to continue to go down the rabbit hole with you guys in regards to understanding you as artists, your music, and also touching on this event on May the 13th as well. So I'll keep it pretty simple, keep it pretty straightforward. First question was, where do you guys... So there's two ways when it comes to the music industry that people often find success. The first is called the DIY, which is do-it-yourself aspect. Then there's the 360, which is basically you get a company, a record company, stuff like that to you sign on with them. You guys sign on for a couple albums and stuff like that. The question is, what was your approach? What approach did you guys decide to take, and why did you take that approach?
That's kind of interesting to answer because, in a way, we're both. We do a lot of it ourselves. You know, as we write our music, we produce it as well with our producers and our arrangers and everything. We're going to kind of hit it head on as a do it yourself
DIY,
and
right.
then we do hope to, of course, get to all the record companies out there, and more than anything, just get to all the people out there and let them hear the music and let whatever happens. We're not really in this to, for the goal. We're in there just for the music, and we're hoping people relate to it and enjoy it and dance, and that's really our goal. It's always been kind of our goal.
Oh, definitely.
So how do you guys define or kind of narrow the gap between, because let's be honest, when it comes to Latin American artists in general, right?
Yeah.
There are so many different genres. You got bachata, salsa,
Oh, yes,
merengue,
yeah.
the list goes on and on and on. So, I mean, I understand you've got grandma, you've got mom, but at what point did you guys say, you know what, salsa is our thing? And why?
Well, you know what? Growing up, we actually learned to dance salsa, I think, before we learned to dance anything. So, our family just always was playing salsa at parties. They started dancing with us, and that was our first touch of, dancing. So that was always, the beats, the rhythm was always, where we went right immediately running to. Then after that, kind of listening to music, the greats, Mark Anthony, La India, amazing idols of ours, and, Celia Cruz, of course, the Reina always, hoping to one day, be mentored and, just trying to reach anybody so they can say, you know what, they have trickled down their talent or at least left a legacy for, the next generations to follow. Yeah. And that's kind of where what our goal is again, right?
Very cool, very cool. So for those of our listeners who have never heard of you guys but are now hearing about you guys, give me a brief breakdown of how they can stay in contact with you, how they can follow your journey, plug your social medias, tell me how we can follow you.
Well, you can go to www.rain-entertainment.com. That's our entertainment company who, is promoting us and who will have all of our events up on their website. For information, you can also call them at 647-573-4462. Anytime you guys want to follow us as well, we also have DLO on Facebook, Instagram, so you can follow us as well there.
Perfect. It has been an absolute pleasure having you guys on air. Again, for our listeners, their Mother's Day event is on Saturday, May 13th at La Liga Lounge, 1107 Finch Avenue West. Doors open at 8 p.m., $20 cover, and the first 50 mothers get a special gift. And again, you guys are not going to tell me what that special gift is, eh?
No.
Unfortunately, sorry.
Women have their secrets.
Yes, definitely.
As much as I continue to try, I guess I just can't break them. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us, Kareem. You're excellent.
Anytime. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you, you too.